Hi, it's Brian Glig with AnandTech, and I'm showing off the Xbox Kinect. So right now I'm just at the main dashboard, but of course to launch the real Kinect experience you basically need to wave your hands like this, and then you get to the Kinect hub, which I call basically the Kinect dashboard. So inside here you can use your hands to move around and select things, or if you go to the arrows here, back and forth. A little bit of trouble there. And then you can go from page to page. So on this page we can launch games. Over here we have some of the Kinect specific apps like Last.fm, Zune, etc. So basically if you hold your cursor over it, you get that circle. And then of course the application launches. So I launched ESPN, but it takes a few seconds. Here we go. So then inside here it's interesting that they have the actual controller buttons at the bottom, but we're still inside of something that's supposed to be Kinect. So you can scrub around and see these live events, or you can use voice commands. Xbox.
Let's bring in Brian Windhorst, who covers the Heat for
Xbox.
ESPN.com, and he formerly covered
Live
the Cavs
events.
in Cleveland.
So you can say Xbox, and then you get a list of things that you can say at the bottom, of course. Next. Next. Xbox. Kinect Hub. Yes. Now most of the time it's pretty good at, of course, canceling the sound out around you and understanding the voice. I mean, there was a little bit of a pause there. Let's try next. You can also do voice commands, of course, from here. Xbox. Xbox. So anything you can see, you can say next. Next. No. It's hard to narrate and use the voice commands, of course. Xbox back. Actually, from here you should use the hand gesture. Xbox. Next. Last.fm. So Last.fm actually works pretty well. It's just like the main Xbox Last.fm client, except instead you've got a little bit of a more limited selection, and it's tailored to the Kinect experience. Of course, you've got your hand cursor, and you put it over things and select what you want to listen to. It's a little bit laggy here. I'm not sure why. If you notice, it just seemed to kind of glitch just a little bit back there when I was moving my hand around.
We're prepping for takeoff, and I got the seat next to the talker. It's nothing my favorite show can't fix.
Just like the normal Last.fm, you get an ad before what music is going to start playing.
The nation's fastest 3G network.
So then from here you can use voice commands, of course. Xbox. Next. Xbox. Next. Stop. Xbox. Stop. So of course you can just do everything you'd expect you could do inside there. Of course you get voice commands from this window as well. Xbox. Kinect Hub. Yes. So you can see that really they put a lot of yes and no prompts in between things, so you can't really effectively troll people by, saying Xbox stop. I think back in ESPN when you're actually in the video view, you can say Xbox pause, but that's not really a big deal. Over here you get, of course, the Kinect Hub with the tuner, and I think that's worth showing. Of course, you do need the controller for this part because you're tuning it. So inside here you can see the actual motion capture points. So you can see my hands, and then it will lock onto your feet too, I think. So that's pretty cool. You can move around, and inside here I think it's pretty interesting. You can change the sensor angle. It'll try to do it for you, but you can also just adjust it yourself down here. So you can tilt up, tilt down. You can see me in the tripod. It's pretty sweet. That's as far down as we can go. If you've got a really, really high wall-mounted TV, of course, you might need it to go tilt down that far. Or you can tilt far up. I mean, in general, it seems to have like 30 or 40 degrees of travel, which is pretty good. So there we are. We'll exit out. Now in the audio, like I mentioned, we'll test background noise and then do its audio calibration. And we'll be quiet here, but you can basically see that. You'll probably yell at me. Yeah, no, that's okay. Of course, there's the microphone calibration, but that's very long, so I won't go through that. What's interesting is when you exit out of the tuner, it spits you back out to the main dashboard, and I think that's a little bit weird. So you have to wave again to get back here. I'm not sure how that makes sense, but that's what always happens. I guess it's because the thought is that you've already put your controller down. The calibration involves that card that I mentioned, which you need to have or purchase if you've lost it, but otherwise it's not a big deal. It does help a little bit. So, I mean, really, I think that's a good overview of what the Kinect Gestures are. It primarily consists of using your hands and cursoring around just like this. And really, there's not a lot of movement. You know, I'm only moving my hands like 1 foot, you know, from the farthest left to furthest right. But I mean, it does work, and you can switch dominant hands, of course, too, by doing the wave gesture. And in the bottom right, you can see a 3D picture of yourself, and there are purple highlights over where the hands are. So really, that gives you an idea of whether you're in the field of view and you're being tracked. So that's kind of like a nice little feedback thing. Why don't we just go check out Video Kinect real fast? Although I don't think anybody's on to talk to. Video Kinect is actually pretty sweet. But of course you need to have another person that you can talk with. And really the trouble there is that there's a good chance that they're probably playing a game if they're actually online. And getting the actual Windows Live client working takes a little bit of time. But what's cool about this is that it tracks you around. And it does a pretty good job. You know, it'll like zoom in. It'll follow your face around. So that's pretty sweet. But of course, the thing that's kind of a little bit strange here is that there's this dichotomy where you're using the controller, you know, to get to menu and stuff, but you're also using your hands. So this is one of those situations where you're kind of doing both. I mean, of course, you have all the select gestures here, all the same things. I don't know if pause works. We can show that. Redo. Yeah, pause is working. So this brings up the Kinect Dash. It does the same thing as if I try to press menu. Let's see if we can. Kinect Guide. Yeah, see, it's kind of interesting. You can't do voice commands from here. But yeah, so there's the Kinect Guide. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, so that's kind of a good overview. Huh. There we go. All right, thanks.